Hello, I'm A.M. Grabelny, and I'm here for another session on AWS On Air. I'm joined by Lisa from Adobe. We're going to get into some really, really cool topics of conversation here around Amazon Connect and the big project that Adobe just undertook, changing over to Amazon Connect for their support organization. But first, Lisa, do you want to introduce yourself to our audience, please?
Sure, happy to. So I'm Lisa Hazelton, and I'm the Director of Global Support Operations at Adobe. Glad to be here.
We're very excited to talk with you. Amazon Connect, obviously a call center as a service type service here at AWS, for lack of a better term. Why even consider Amazon Connect over at Adobe with the support organization? What challenges were you all facing? What went into the requirements gathering process before you even started evaluating any kind of solution?
Sure, yeah, we were having stability issues. That was first and foremost. Obviously, you need a stable platform. We want customers to be able to contact us at any time. So that was key to us. That was our primary driver. Now, one of the things then you talked about the requirements when we were looking to implement a new tool, the first thing that everyone does is you come up with that requirements document. We all love doing those. We have something at Adobe called Voice of the Agent. So our Voice of the Agent program, agents literally put in tickets for things that they would like to be made better. So that can vary. That can vary about the tool they use. It could be about a process they use. It can be anything. We happen to have 70 tickets that were open when we changed platforms. This is before we changed, on things they would just really love their platform, and they spend most of the time in that tool, what they would love it to do for them. So we simply took those 70 tickets and we used those to make up a requirements document, made setting up the requirements document a little bit simpler, and it literally was a document that was Voice of the Agent. Those were our requirements.
That's incredible. I mean, that's actually taking the people who are in the tool day to day, doing the work that need it to function in certain ways, and giving them a way to give you that feedback directly. It sounds like, honestly, a lot of work to put that together. How many of these tickets do you get on average? Is it just a lot? Are you seeing a lot of agents? Yeah, that's
a lot. We get about 150, 200 a month come in because it's all of the different tools and processes. And obviously we can't get to all of them, but sure, this was a great win. So the even better thing was all 70 were implemented at phase one. So when we went live, all 70 were implemented, which I didn't even think was going to happen. And what was really nice is we were able to send out, as part of change management, a note to the team saying, we have this new tool coming, here's what's going on. And then we put down all the ticket numbers along with the agent's name that put the ticket in and said, your voice matters, your opinion counts. So that was a really good change management thing that we were able to do. And our go live was pretty smooth.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like it becomes, instead of just here's the new tool that you all have to use, rollout, right? Which, speaking from personal experience, I've had that type of tool rollout before, and this is just what you use now. It actually sounds like you all are putting in a lot of effort to make the experience not just for your customers better, but also for your agents, right?
Absolutely. Yes, it's definitely a balance between the customer experience, the agent experience, productivity, and then thinking forward and looking forward. And I think that was the difference as well with working with the AWS team. We were working with the implementation team, so rolling out our go live, lots of making sure we got this minimum requirements we needed. As well as that, in parallel, we started working on innovation. So any of the time you do something like this, you're thinking about, okay, this is going to be a journey. We wanted to go to omni-channel, but we were starting to think about, what does the destination look like? And that would be my advice to anyone doing this. Just think about, where do you want to end up? What does that look like? And then you can start planning your journey. So we started doing that in parallel. We started having innovation workshops. and working with AWS on what does good look like and how could we get there.
That was a question I definitely had while I was listening. Uh, Lisa, was for anybody else in the same boat, oftentimes you have to balance between and you mentioned stability, right? Like stability is getting you to a point where you've got a usable platform. It's not pushing to that future like you've been talking about. But you all were able to do both. You pushed out 70 of these feature request tickets and also got the stability kind of maintenance and run the business type priorities all at the same time. How did you do that? Like that seems almost impossible.
Well, I would say one of the reasons we were successful was teamwork and partnership. And I think I've been in this industry many years, running out a lot of tours. And one of the things I would say that stood out for me with AWS was the partnership. So we had the team that was working on getting the product out. What we did differently at Adobe is we implemented what we call customer champions. So we had an option of bringing in an external change management team. And again, having been in change management for a while, we made the call, we don't want to do that. We want to use our own people that were going to be living with this tool like forever. So we used them, we made them customer champions, and it really worked for us. So they worked really closely with AWS implementation team, focusing on the right now, focusing on those 70 requirements, focusing on the stability. At the same time, we created a separate team that were really more looking forward. And I was leading up that team from Adobe's perspective. And we worked with a different team at AWS, the innovation team, and we did this working backwards approach and template that AWS have for really thinking about what would be your minimum lovable products. So now we're thinking forward, not even just 1 year, maybe 2 years. And we started designing that. One of the things I'd say was a bit different is I have an opinion on how I want something done.
Sure.
Shock.
Yeah.
And so as I was working with the team, they had this blueprint and templates, and it was all really great and really professional. And I had some things I wanted to do a little differently. We had been talking about what we wanted our omnichannel experience to be like for a while. And they were very flexible. They said, oh, that's a great idea. We didn't even think about that. Let's change that. Let's do it differently. Let's add some other features to these workshops. So again, partnership, it's key to kind of learn from each other.
Yeah, I love number one, the champions. Again, taking that narrative of here's a new tool, go out and you have to use it, and switching it to no, you helped us co-develop this. You're just as excited as we are about this launching in the agent space. And then also, I got really excited because I heard some AWS language in there with working backwards. One of our famous things here at AWS is our leadership principles, right? Everybody has a favorite leadership principle. This is something that I don't know. We do this in offsites and things, talk about our favorite leadership principles and things. But one you were saying actually struck a chord over at Adobe as well. One of our leadership principles, I believe it was customer obsession, right?
It was. So as we were working together as the innovation team, at the same time, I was driving some strategy discussions outside of even just our technology and omnichannel. And we were doing an offsite, leadership offsite. And so I asked AWS, a couple of people, to come in and just talk to us about their tenants and about being customer obsessed and how did you even come up with that? And because I was curious, it's like, very often you have tenants or you'll have mission statements. Every company has these things. And my question to AWS was, really? Are these just words on a poster? Or do you live them? Show me, tell me, explain to us. So you did. And we were kind of inspired and got us kind of excited about, well, what could we do at Adobe Support? So after we had the talk with AWS, we stayed offsite doing workshops. And we came up with our own tenants. One of ours is similar, not exactly the same, be a customer champion. So it's aligned.
Oh, yeah. I like that.
Yeah. So we came up with our own and we're now rolling them out in the company. And they're really kind of taking hold and people are excited about them. and we're doing everything around them to try and make them real. So we're starting out on our journey. So on tenants.
Yeah, it's for real here. I promise. There's not a day that goes by that I'm not in a meeting where either I or someone or all of us are dropping leadership principles throughout what we're talking about. I mean, it's really what drives decision making here. So very cool to see that influence you all over at Adobe too. It's something that has been one of my favorite things of working at AWS. Gives us a really great framework on how to make difficult decisions. A lot of the times these are very, very tough decisions that we're making, and gives us a great framework to help guide us there. Well, Lisa, we are running short on time here, but this has been fascinating. I mean, I seriously can't believe that you all got a stable platform and rolled out 70 features at release 1, like not even, 3 months after the rollout. No, all at once. Anything you want to leave our audience before we have to go?
Yes, really just a couple of things we've already talked about. If anyone's new and they're starting out on this journey, definitely advise something like the Voice of Agent program. Make sure you get things implemented that your agents and your support teams are telling you are important. That helps with change management. And then start thinking about the future now. Where do you want to end up? And start working backwards and figuring out how you need to get there. And see this as a partnership. Like definitely partner and learn from each other, and from all of us to learn from each other. There's so much great experience in this industry. I think listen as much as you talk about it, and that will work.
Those are all amazing pieces of advice. Thank you so much for joining us, Lisa. We will be right back, so stick around for more on AWS On Air.